Okay, so a bit of a weird story for you. Well, not super weird, but a good story in a sense. It has a nice happy ending, I guess. So, anyways, uh, Clone High. Clone High came out 20 years ago. They just recently put out a second season. It's garbage and really sucks. Unlike that, you have me. Now, I take a long time to put out things too. So, Elden, 2018, April of 2018, I was really annoyed with Fringe, the TV show Fringe, and I'd put my foot down. I'd had enough with TV. I'd had enough with all this garbage shit that came since the 90s where nobody knows how to write, nobody knows how an actual story is supposed to go, and they portray just their little shiny trinket shit. So Fringe was a great show for the first season. It actually was. I was right in there. I loved it. Joshua Jackson plays a great fucking part in that. The whole father dynamic, the fact they go into the second season starts dragging a little bit. Third season stops making any sense. And the fourth season is where I was just like, okay, does anybody have any fucking imagination anymore? Like, honestly, I need to fucking show you, right? So I took one of my workbooks, my composition books. I have tons of these. And I decided I was going to work on one called Elman. And I've almost filled the thing. Um, this is a detailed fucking book, by the way. Uh, it's basically a map or a legend that I use to guide myself in writing the comic. Now, that was 5 years ago. I'm nowhere fucking near showing you anything about this comic or even telling you anything about this comic because it literally is going to take me most of the rest of my life. It's my Silmarillion. It's the thing that I'm going to be dead and somebody I know is going to be like, okay, we'll put these pages with these pages. It's going to take forever. So the reason I bring this up is there was another project years back. So in 2008, I was going to school taking graphic design. Uh, Three-Legged Cat comics had been a thing since I was 12 years old. So, I mean, I kept that going the whole time. And in 2008, I was 22. So, I mean, I'd been pushing that for a long time, a good decade. Well, I'd also wanted to create my own record label, which I was calling Green Records. At this point, the unreleased discography was on number 4. So, I mean, like, it was pretty young at the time. And I wanted to create my own record label. I had a lot of friends who wanted to write music and stuff and that kind of thing and wanted to put this music under it. Well, anyways, Green Records kind of went down. If you've seen the Octobus 2011 album, that album was put under Green Records. It has the logos and everything all over it. That was kind of when I was still putting the big push on for it. Well, also something I kept the big push on at the same time was another company that I've never talked much about or told many people about. The second album, the cover of that, the one that I usually don't talk about, my second unreleased album, had a cover that played into that. Now, I walked into school one day, and when I was going to school there, I was wearing suits all the time. I had bought a whole shitload of like cheap suits at the thrift stores that fit sort of. They weren't perfect, right? But I basically wore a suit every day. Pink dress shirts, blue ones, purple ones, green ones, every kind, right? Always dress shirts, always a tie, always a suit. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly how I dressed continuously when I was going to school there. So one of the kids in the class, his name was Lucas. Now, Lucas was a decent kid. He was quite friendly. So one day I walk in, and he's like, Van Bartlett, like this, and he takes the E off my name. And I walk in, and I'm like, and so anyways, from that, I thought it was a really good name, the Van Bartlett thing. So I decided to turn that into my clothing company, where I was going to create the one-of-a-kind clothing line. And up until about 2013-ish, somewhere around there, I was still working on this quite heavily. There's lots of designs for clothing. There was the more than one-of-a-kind. There were still only one-of-a-kind of them. However, each item turned into 6 different items that you could wear differently. Like you could wear, it was like a B-more, if you remember the B-mores from the stuffed animals that used to transform, like they have Velcro and they pop around kind of thing. Well, it was inspired kind of in a sense by that, where a dress could be turned into more than just a dress. It could be turned into, it's confusing, but basically it could be turned into a bra and or a top and a bottom bikini with a skirt, but yet it was still a dress if you zipped it all back together or that kind of thing. It was crazy ideas. I had a whole bunch of designs for these. I also designed the one-of-a-kind stuff, the one-of-a-kind clothing line, and there was all these other ideas I had for this. Well, it never came to fruition. It never really turned out the way I wanted it. Anyways, right before I had moved to Moncton, I had bought a mannequin from 1938, and I was heavily working on creating clothing at the time. When I moved back, because of the way things went, and because of how brutal they were, the record label disappeared. Van Bartlett kind of got pushed off to the side and pushed off to the side and pushed off to the side, just kept getting further and further. So I'd have my composition books, and I used to do drawing books. I used to do books where I'd always have a book. That was my book that I was drawing and doodling and stuff like that. You'll find a lot of the one-of-a-kind clothing line stuff and designs within that. The interchanging ones that would be 6 different outfits. I think I only did 12 of those, I think. But I'd always intended on creating those. Always intended on creating my own clothing. Around that time, I sewed a 3-legged cat logo to the back of one of my blazers. And I used to walk around town with this 3-legged cat logo on my back. And was pushing more for my comics. And of course, it came to this certain point where everything just kind of fell apart. And yeah, I just never got a chance. I didn't have a sewing machine until I moved out here. Once I moved out here, I was always too busy. I've been chipping away at this whole time. I've never given up on clothing. So, with that said, I'm starting a clothing store. I have a shitload of used clothing. I'm also going to be repairing clothing, which I've been doing to older clothing. There's a lot of stuff that either gets a tear. One thing specifically, bra wires. Those things fucking, I find tons of bras with wires are all fucked. And I'm like, do you not know what a pair of pliers are? Like needle nose pliers? Because it's pretty fucking easy just to bend them back down, you know what I mean? And straighten them out. But anyways, that one's pretty easy fix. I've done a lot of repair work on different clothing. I create my own clothing, right? The whole idea. I have a sewing machine. I use it. I've got tons and tons of supplies. I always try and repair something with the same color of the thread. But I always like to make it noticeable that it's been repaired, right? At least a little bit, so you know it's not like brand new. But anyways, within May this year, I'd always intended on doing this, and in May this year, they opened a store in Calgary that allowed me to do this. It's a store that has benefited my friend from Nostalgia Alley quite a bit. It's also basically created a clothing store for me, because, I mean, I love clothes. I love them to death. I've always collected them. I always think they're neat, and, I mean, one thing I do offer right now is tailoring services, custom-made clothing, like this one-of-a-kind clothing line. So if you wanted like a t-shirt that has like bat wings on it or something, that's easy enough to do. I just sew bat wings on it or create the bat wings and that kind of thing, right? But the other thing is I offer custom painted clothing. It's not actual paint, but I use ink to actually stain clothing to create pictures on it. Very similar to sublimated printing, where it's all over printed and like you get a t-shirt that has like a picture of Batman or something, the whole thing is literally Batman. Similar to that. Only, for instance, say I have a denim jacket, and I want the denim jacket to be decked out Calgary Flames. I can literally draw all the players on there and all that kind of thing, the ice, the whole 9 yards, and the whole shirt would be representing the Calgary Flames team kind of thing. That costs a bit. I mean, yeah, I custom paint a shirt for you. There's no way in hell it's less than $100. Anything. Pants, you name it. Like those get expensive because it takes a lot of time, that kind of thing. And I mean, it is gorgeous and is one of a kind. So that's the main draw of my clothing I create. There is only one of everything I ever create. However, there's also all the used stuff that I sell, and I sell that dirt cheap. I'm not like him. I'm not in there for collectors or that kind of thing. I'm just in there to help out people, because the whole idea of starting this was, and what got me sparked on this was my boss. We were talking one day, and she was scratching her back or something, or the strap on her bra or something was bothering her or something, and she was like, fuck, I need a new bra or whatever. And I said to her, I was like, well, right on, or whatever, just simple conversation. And she's like, well, I can't afford it or whatever kind of thing at the moment. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's fucking underwear. Can't be that expensive. And she looks it up and she shows me fucking cheap bras are like $60. So I talked to my mom. My mom also has. And she's going on, yeah, they ain't cheap or whatever. And I'm like, it's fucking underwear. That's fucking brutal. You need it. I can go to Walmart for $10 right now and buy a fucking pack. So, I mean, the fuck, right? You need them. So, seeing that it was like $60, I went and I grabbed her a fucking bag of them that potentially could fit her. Only one really did. She only kept one of them, but the one that she kept was like fucking 60 to 100 brand new or something. So, and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, yeah, it's no big deal. And so then I brought her a bag for her friend. I was like, here. And her friend kept them or whatever. So it's like, that was kind of what gave me the idea to go after these. If these things are going to be fucking brutally expensive and you need them, like females actually need them to cover up their tits, right? And they're going to be like, because I've been looking up prices of these things and trying to understand and gauge and get a good price going. Right now, I'm not really sure how much I'm going to be charging for everything, but at the moment, kind of like a ballpark, I'm doing like $10 an item for clothing items. I mean, if you're going after like fucking something simple like a pin or a tie or something, they'll probably only charge you $1 or $5 or whatever the fuck. But something along this line, like $10 and buy two get one free. So like every $20 you get something. Now I'm going to try and do like a stamp card or something towards this. Custom orders get you more stamps, of course, and also custom creations, because that's more what I'm after, is being able to do the custom kind of things. I'll sell the used stuff as well, but I'm more into creating what I create and supporting local. And of course, the Comic Expo happens here, so people do a lot of cosplay type stuff. I'm gonna sell those kind of things too. So for instance, you want a costume of fucking Batman or Yu-Gi-Oh or something or whatever, and it's not gonna be that hard to create. Anyways, just wanted to let you know. And of course, with my friend talking about getting bamboo fabric, I want to create bamboo clothing of my own, which I can sell, which would be natural clothing, right? Might be a little pricier than the cheap stuff, but who knows? I don't know the specs on this. Roughly in about a year, I'm probably going to have a store in downtown Calgary, potentially. Well, around downtown Calgary. It's like 5 minutes over there, so within this area. And also my friend who runs Nostalgia Alley, and also another friend of his who do like the collectibles kind of stuff, are going to be in there as well. This is the dream or the goal for the moment. The Reefer Man stuff will be put up, thanks to the Internet Archive being a bunch of dicks and taking it down. I'm going to put that on some kind of like subscription service, like OnlyFans or one of those places where you can just go through a paywall for a couple of bucks and have access to literally everything. I will be putting all the Van Bartlett designs and Van Bartlett artwork and things like that in there as well, so you can see it, all the old stuff. And I think it's privated on Facebook, but there is like ID badges and shit for Green Records and 3LC and all this other stuff I created years ago. I did create a Van Bartlett Facebook page. It just never went. It never went anywhere. There was also a Reefer Man one. There was also one for Green Records and all that. It just never did anything with them, sadly. But like I said about Ellen in the beginning, it took me forever to get to the point where I could, like 5 years in, I still haven't got most of the concept art done. I mean, this is 15 years later, and finally I'm going to start selling clothes. It takes me a while. I'm only one person, right? Like, I only moved out here 8 years ago, so it takes a while to build all these things. It takes a while to establish yourself. It takes a while to make the connections you need to fix things. So, yeah, I got a friend who's selling eco-friendly bongs. And I don't know if I put that in this version, right? But anyways, he's selling eco-friendly bongs. They're made of bamboo, completely made of bamboo. The site's called Terratokes. You can find the link in the description. Check out Nostalgia Alley at the Crossroads Market. I work there on Saturdays, so if you want to come see me on Saturdays and talk about this or anything, or in the comments, yeah, buy my friend's bongs. And also, with Reefer Man, there will be tie-ins with this Terratokes. So if you purchase a Terratokes bong and you have like the receipt or proof of purchase, you will receive a free year subscription to the streaming service that I have Reefer Man on. So you'll be able to read the whole thing for free, or check out all my artwork and stuff, all my comic stuff for free, and more stuff like that. I'm working on the deals right now that you'll be able to get. But yeah, you hook my friends up or scratch my friend's back, I'll scratch your back. Vice versa kind of thing, right? That's the idea. I'm trying to build some kind of like community union of sellers, of independent entrepreneurs who make their own business and build their communities up and help. Like for me, it's helping out women in need, basically. There's a lot of stores out here called Women in Needs, and I see a lot of women who are in need, low on their thing, right? And when I talk to my boss and she's like, $60 a fucking bra, it's like, no, you feed my fucking Canadian kids out there. You don't have the fucking money to be spending out your ass to buy your fucking underwear. That's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, if you're rich or something, but there are women who need fucking bras, right? They don't have fuck all. They need formula for their fucking baby. So I mean, a little fucking brutal, right? That's why I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to help out. This is my end of it. I have a lot of this. Why not sell it for a good price, right? So yeah, if you're predominantly it's female clothing, yes. I do have jerseys and band shirts, and I'm gonna sell brand new socks and brand new underwear for men and women as well. I'm not selling used underwear or used socks, but used bras, yes. Maybe that's why they're more expensive, because they're still stable after the fact. I don't know. Either way, I think it's fucking brutal when women need them. So yeah, if you're a female and you need bras for a good price, I basically chuck the ones that aren't in good condition. Like if they've been haggard a little bit, they're out. I don't even take them. But I do receive a lot of clothes, and I also buy a lot of clothes, and I have access to a lot of clothes. So I do have quite a few bras. Like they're not, I basically won't take in Walmart ones. I won't take in like cheap ones, dollar store ones or any of that. No, they're all Victoria's Secret or fucking Pink, which is the division of them, or La Senza, or what's the other big one? La Vienna Rose or whatever it is. La Vienne Rose, something like that. That's another big one out here. Another big store they have. But yeah, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those three companies of bras are all over the fucking place, and then there's other ones, right? And then there's the clothing. I mean, dresses, pants, dress shirts, jeans, sweaters, t-shirts. You fucking name it. I've got an endless truckload of it. But yeah, and socks and underwear would be brand new. Panties and underwear, or whatever you call them, boxers or whatever for guys. There would be those will all be brand new. Not sure where I'm going to get them yet, but I'm still looking into that. Definitely will be creating them on my own once I get the bamboo. Because I mean, bamboo socks, holy fuck, are they ever comfortable? I don't know if you've ever had them, but I have. I miss those socks. Had them back home. Anyways, Loveys for now. That's kind of where I'm headed. Musically, there's tons of it created and stuff, but I mean, I'm not dead. I don't have a band that's gung-ho and dedicated and making an awesome album like The Time Has Come. Speaking of which, fucking buy your copy, right? If you purchase The Time Has Come as well, or you purchase any of my other dad's music, or you purchase anything to help my dad, then you also receive free Reefer Man as well, like free Reefer Man subscriptions to the site, maybe a t-shirt or something. And also clothing-wise, if you help out Teratokes and you help out Dad, either one. If I found out you spent money into the band Engage, or you spent money into Teratokes, then you receive discounts within what I do. Any of my friends, Nostalgia Alley. If I find out you buy stuff at Nostalgia Alley, you're gonna get hooked up. That's the idea. And also, if you're any of my friends and you're looking for a job, or you're looking for some means of starting your own business, or some work in that, and you have an idea that can kind of run along with this stuff, message me. Send me a message. I'll hook you up. Building this network. We're going to save the world. Love yous. Take care.